Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome to Suji Reaction. This is the US military's latest strikes on Iran were brutal by the channel Max Afterburner. Yes, it's a Max Afterburner video. I guess the MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, I remember that. That didn't really work. I mean, who could have predicted that? I guess Iran storming off in front of JD Vance's face, not shaking his hand, and all those things. That wasn't an indication that this is not going to work out. I mean, come on. Do you need an oracle to tell you that? So yeah, things went back to like bombing, I guess. This is what I said a month or so ago. Like if you're doing ceasefire and peace deal, you better get it. Because if you don't, you're just pausing and giving them chance to recover, which just means you're going to go back and forth with bombing. It's bad for everyone. So I don't know. That's what happened, I guess. 6 US aircraft struck Iranian missile and drone storage facility. How many they have, man? It's insane. I'm guessing all the B-52s and B-1s, probably bombers. It's going to be interesting. Let's do this one.
Hey everybody, welcome to the video. It's Saturday, June 27th, 2026, and this footage right here is the U.S. military fighter jets striking targets inside of Iran. Missile and drone storage facilities, coastal radar sites at Qeshm Island, Sirik, Jask, Bandar Abbas. All those sites, poof, gone in retaliation for Iran striking commercial vessels in the Strait of Hormuz. The significance of these targets right here is that Iran uses a lot of...
There was a Singapore flagged vessel that got burned up completely when Iran attacked it. I'm guessing that's what triggered this.
These radar sites to control their drone arsenal. And we know they've got a lot of those drones. So U.S. military proportional response saying, okay, you're going to attack these commercial ships. Well, a lot of your different radar sites, drone and missile storage facilities are going to go bye-bye. And then Iran retaliated to the retaliation. They launched drones at Bahrain trying to strike U.S. headquarters. The U.S. 5th Fleet Naval Headquarters is in Bahrain. Let's rewind just a little bit. So we know that Iran launched 4 attack drones a couple days ago at that commercial ship, the Ever Lovely, a Singapore flagged vessel. They're basically striking ships that are near the southern area of Oman. It's said that they also struck another ship this morning. So the U.S. announced that they're expanding the highway, the southern highway near Oman, which means ships can go in and out of that critical choke point. But Iran is going to respond because here's the kicker. Iran stands to gain $90 billion a year if they continue to extort that international waterway. So at this point, those drones got ripped out of the sky. Aegis destroyers, F-16s, F-15Es striking those radar sites, just reminding Iran that there is a counterbalance to their extortion. So again, Iran's like, why? We're just the mafia. This is what we do. And the U.S. military is like, cool. We're going to take down your radar sites, IRGC naval headquarters, drone bunker facilities. That's what we do. And then Iran said this, as they do. Someone high up in the IRGC, potentially even General Tuna himself, the person who's supposedly in charge of the IRGC, they're keeping that very hush-hush because a lot of those generals have a very short shelf life. They said the consequences of traveling on unauthorized routes will be the responsibility of the owner, operator, and commander of the vessel. So not a warning, this is their targeting doctrine that they're publishing on the internet. They're saying if you don't pay our fee, if you don't come up near our shores, then we're going to strike you. And again, like good mafia bosses do, these are the kind of statements that they're going to put out. And then the very next morning, when they launched drones at Bahrain, the country that hosts the U.S. Navy's 5th Fleet headquarters, the building that commands American warships in the region, Iran said this. The IRGC's official statement said, retaliation for the warmongering U.S. regime that attacked several points in Jask, Sirik, Qeshm under false pretext. Yeah, false pretext, except you're striking commercial vessels because you want to extort an international waterway. But besides that, yeah, definitely false pretext, little buddy. Good job. And the false pretext they're talking about looked like fighter jets from the U.S. Air Force striking missile and drone storage facilities, coastal radar sites all across the strategic entryways into the Strait of Hormuz. U.S. F-16 Wild Weasels and likely F-15Es, although no confirmed fighters. This is just what a potential strike package would look like. The F-16 Wild Weasels go in. They clear the airspace. Massive cojones on these F-16 Wild Weasel pilots because they're acting.
Look, man, everything that has happened to this point, nothing came out of it. If you just go back and forth, this is like two fighters fighting each other, and just one fighter is trying to punch the other fighter, another fighter is just slightly punching the fighter. No one is backing off. You need to think about like what to do next, or what type of decisive action I need to take so this moves forward. Because this is insane. This is just a repetition of like past multiple months. US bombs a lot of places. Iran try to attack US bases with drones, claim US is the enemy, attack some commercial ship. It's like
As the bait, essentially the same size cojones as a mountain goat. And yeah, mountain goat have some pretty big cojones, but that's nothing compared to the F-16 Wild Weasel fighter pilots that are going in, acting as bait, seeing if any of the radars turn on, clearing the way for the strike package, likely allowing F-15Es in right behind them to go ahead and clean up, basically mop up the Iranian coastal naval sites. And then stay for the global roundup section because we've got some hot topics to cover today. Breaking news from around the globe. I'll be covering that about 3/4 of the way through the video. And we're out doing some traveling right now. We've got the Strait of Hormuz right here behind us. No, not really. We're actually in Boulder City, Nevada. We got Lake Mead behind us. Nevada is an amazing state, and it's just been an incredible traveling and enjoying all that Boulder City has.
Nevada around this time. What is the heat there? How is he just sitting there without getting sweaty? Isn't Nevada hot?
To offer, including the Hoover Dam. Hoover Dam is just up the street, which is incredible. So we know that Iran struck commercial ships with their drones.
Yeah, basically Fallout New Vegas location right there.
And then launched at Bahrain. The F-16 CJ stepped in as the electronic fly swatter. So here's the reports I'm seeing about the actual strikes in Iran. June 26th, 6 land-based U.S. aircraft execute precision strikes against Iranian missile and drone storage locations and coastal radar sites at Sirik, Jask, Manab, Qeshm Island, and Bandar Abbas. There was reports that they actually hide their drones and ballistic missiles in underground facilities right along the coast. Oh, what? That piece of beach that lifts up and lowers like an elevator, don't mind that. I mean, so many different options for them to hide these in bunker facilities along the coast that are now being struck. CENTCOM called this a powerful response. They released the video that we looked at earlier, and Iran's foreign ministry accused the U.S. of violating international law. The IRGC warned that the next response will be more extensive, and then they launched their drones at Bahrain. That's their whole goal, make it look like they're actually in control, like they have some deterrence. A second vessel, though, did report being struck by an unidentified projectile. I wonder who that could be at this point. The UK MTO, that's the organization that assesses threat levels in the Strait. They upgraded the threat to substantial, and the Joint Maritime Information Center announced the Omani corridor is expanding to allow simultaneous inbound and outbound traffic, daring Iran to respond to a wider U.S. footprint. And then VP Vance went on record. He said this: Iran signed a ceasefire agreement. We have honored it. If they have disagreements about how the MOU is being applied, they can pick up the phone, but violence will be met with violence, which essentially is the only thing that's going to matter to these IRGC naval bosses, these mafia bosses.
Again, I don't know what to say here, man. Memorandum of understanding. What understanding did you had? This is like, even when you said ceasefire, there was no ceasefire. And oh, there's still ceasefire. No, it's not. Everybody's attacking each other still. They try to attack US ships. How is that a ceasefire? Now, memorandum of understanding. What understanding? Even if you sign the actual peace deal, what is stopping Iran to attack just few days after? Like, these are precedents that are being set. Like, we can sign an MOU and still do this, and nobody's going to do nothing. US is not going to get pissed off completely and say like, okay, enough of this shit. There's not going to be any deal like this or something like that. That presses Iran. They're like, okay, I guess MOU is still there. If you keep doing this for Iran, there is not going to be any line in the sand. Even if you sign the peace deal, for a few days or like a week or so, they would still bomb something. Even after the peace deal. So is that a peace deal?
Bosses. They've got to be met with violence. Unfortunately, at this point, it's kind of the only thing that speaks to them. And we've seen this in war zones across the world. I mean, I saw it in combat unfortunately, to certain people, that the only way to negotiate with them is with a JDAM. You can't sit down and clink glasses and say, all right, let's agree to something here. You got to basically clink some 20 mic to make it work. But now let's talk about what flew those missions, because the U.S. strike packages here are incredible. I mean, Iran has time to reconstitute, but U.S. strike packages are still crushing them. So reports are saying 6 land-based U.S. aircraft hit 4 targets across multiple locations across Iran's southern coast. CENTCOM confirmed it, released the footage, which tells you a few things immediately. The mission succeeded, and the Pentagon wanted Iran and every IRGC commander watching this right now to know exactly what it looks like when these targets are struck, and their little fiefdom just goes down just a little bit more day by day. CENTCOM didn't name the platforms that were launched, but from a fighter pilot's perspective, here's what I see going in. The seed package, F-16 Wild Weasels, or as we should call them, the F-16 mountain goats with the size of the cojones on these pilots. You don't send strike aircraft into Iranian coastal airspace without suppressing what's left of their radar and SAM network first. The F-16 Block 5052 Wild Weasel, that's the variant that is doing tons of work in this AOR. It's built exactly for this job. It carries the AGM-88 HARM, a missile that homes on radar emissions. So you turn on your radar, the HARM will find you.
I'm guessing this is Growler equivalent when it comes to Air Force, F-16 Wild Weasel, because Navy would have had like a Super Hornet with a Growler, obviously.
Kind of like that Stage 5 clinger and Wedding Crashes. Don't you leave me, because HARM will find you.
Jeremy. Jeremy, you're amazing.
Oh, God, I think you're amazing.
Oh, my God, don't ever leave me.
Ever.
Good. Because I'd find you.
Wild Weasel's entire mission is to go in first, make Iran's radar operators choose between tracking our jets and surviving. Because if you turn on that radar, you're going to go bye-bye. You might get a lucky shot off. Good luck. And then when you see CENTCOM say coastal radar sites and a strike confirmation, a Wild Weasel was likely in that package actually striking down that radar site itself. Oh, and real quick, do you guys love energy? Do you love America? Well, obviously. Then I've got something for you. I have an energy drink company that we just launched. It's a fighter pilot owned and operated energy drink company called Max Afterburner Energy. We engineered these drinks to eliminate that crash feeling that you get with other energy drinks. Here's the situation though. Our drinks are currently in production, but you can sign up for an email list right now. It's completely free and you'll be the first to know when they're in stock. But even more than that, if you sign up for our email list, you'll get weekly Max Afterburner YouTube roundups so you never miss any of our content and you stay in the know with all the wild things that are happening around the world. They'll also be, as a bonus, the emails will include discounts for energy drinks and merch like our t-shirts and hats. So click. Once the door is kicked in from those F-16 CJs, the freight train follows. That's the F-15E Strike Eagle carrying precision-guided munitions against the missile and drone storage facilities. Hardened structures that need something with a little bit of a punch. When you think about what the F-15E can carry, we're talking 2,000-pound bombs, even 5,000-pound bunker buster bombs going deep into the earth, striking those different facilities, and having 2 people, a weapons systems officer in the back. We know this F-15E has been the workhorse with unfortunately some friendly fire incidences and then one of them being taken down by that one missile that took down the F-15E Wizzo and the pilot that were rescued. These things are the workhorses. They're perfectly suited for this strike package, and teaming up with the CJ just makes it a no-brainer that this is likely the go-to strike package on any given day. And then remember the naval backbone. So you've got the EA-18G Growler, F-18s, and then you've got guided missile destroyers holding the Omani corridor, Aegis combat systems, SM-3 interceptors for ballistic missiles, standard missiles for cruise missiles and drones, and then a phalanx close-in weapon system, radar-guided machine gun that can fire at drones, can fire at fast attack craft. So many different.
Why is he talking about defensive measures? Like this was US attacking their bases. They didn't come close to even attacking. I don't think they tried. They throw some attacks on your bases in Bahrain, not at the ships. Because like it's very hard, hasn't worked in the past. Why waste time now?
Layers are now involved in this situation to keep Iran honest. And as we've heard, a lot of people will say, well, why doesn't the U.S. just turn this place into a parking lot, just decimate everything? Well, it looks like the goal right now is to go ahead and open the Strait of Hormuz, expand that Omani corridor, get different influence there, and play the long game. So what does that mean? To me, it means reciprocating. It means, oh, Iran, you're going to go ahead and tap a few targets. Cool. We're going to go ahead and tap a few of your targets too. A few love taps just to remind you who actually.
I'm not gonna lie. I am questioning why US is not deleting all the major targets. The US obviously know where they are. Every few days and few weeks, you hear about US destroying some radar here, some site here. They've known about this for a while. This is the point where, like, okay, I've done everything and Iran is still not backing down. This is the time to, like, show all your cards. Like, I'm going to destroy significant amount of your infrastructure and more because I'm America. That would show them, like, yeah, we have to come to an agreement. We don't hold the cards here. If you just delete things one by one, that's not doing much. That's not going to make Iran back down. I mean, I don't know, man.
Actually controls the sky in the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah, you can get some lucky shots with your drones, and the only reason that they're not completely decimating all the leadership is because the U.S. is trying to get Iran to the table to make some sort of a deal. And that brings us to
but U.S. doesn't target the leadership. Israel does. When was the last time U.S. actually deleted any leader in Iran? If it happened, it was probably like, as a secondary target. US destroys infrastructure. Israel was the one who was deleting people. So US is still deleting infrastructure. You can at least do that, insanely deplete their capabilities at a level that shows Iran, like, I know where everything is and I can take all of them out. What are you doing? Who are you fighting here? This doesn't even make sense.
Roundup section, my friends. So let's talk about what is going on in Ukraine. It looks like even more drone strikes last night towards more missile production facilities in Moscow, in Russia, striking down Moscow's ability to enact war, which is just insane. At the end of the day, Moscow now looks to be a little bit on their heels in this drone campaign as Ukraine starts to ramp things up. And then China has done a 40-day deployment of their aircraft carrier, which I know doesn't sound like a ton, but they're basically extending the endurance of their aircraft carrier every single month. They're trying to get it to stay at sea longer and longer. I mean, they're decades behind the U.S. Navy when it comes to the logistics and restoration missions of keeping carriers out at sea basically indefinitely, but it's not enough.
I don't know why China cares about aircraft carrier. I would have understood, like, if it was reactionary thing, like how India has aircraft carrier, it's more of a reactionary thing. You need aircraft carrier if you want to project power somewhere else, like US does. China usually try to project power around it, like Japan, South Korea, India, and places like that, Indian Ocean. You don't really need an aircraft carrier for that. What, you gonna go to like America, try to bully USA? Come on, that's not gonna happen. You're going to bully Europe? Again, that's like going close to America anyway. Again, that's not going to happen. So what you going to do with your aircraft carrier? Seriously.
And then that brings us to the 40 chess strategic analysis section, my friends. So Senator Graham said something interesting. He said, if this diplomatic effort fails, President Trump is going to take the Strait of Hormuz. We're going to run it. So what would that actually look like? Well, it likely means a lot of unmanned underwater vehicles having the ability to patrol the Strait of Hormuz from underneath and above. So you would need air assets, you would need advanced drones, AI Fury drones, XBAT drones, stealthy drones that can jam these different radar sites, directed energy weapons that can fully take down and basically create a little iron dome of itself over top of the Strait of Hormuz. Now, do I think that's going to happen anytime soon? Not necessarily. It looks like the strategy right now is do a tit for tat with Iran, keep them on their heels. I mean, keep these mafia bosses.
I understand why he always brings up lampreys and XBAT, all this insane tech. Can US do this? Yes, they can easily do that. That would cost insanely high though, not to mention exposing the latest technology in front of, enemy territory, latest enough. Why would US do that if you can do it much cheaperly? So US is not going to use all these things because they don't have to. Maybe if this was China, yeah, they would have, because you need the best tech, is China. Against Iran, you don't really need any of this.
Is knowing that if they strike these ships, there will be consequences. And that's what you have to keep doing if you want to keep the waterway open, get the economy going again, get the gas prices down, make sure the oil companies aren't price gouging, because there's rumors of that happening right now too. Looks like oil companies are being put on
That's a gallon? That's double, right? What it used to be. That's very close to what we have here, I'm guessing. Yeah, it is.
notice to actually get the price of gas down to match the flow of oil that's now flowing through the Strait of Hormuz. More than has ever been since the conflict started is flowing through the Strait of Hormuz right now. So those gas prices should be coming down. What do you guys think?
It's insane to me. The US's prices are that close to where I am, because US literally exports the oil. You have the oil, you don't need to import it. Why is it such a high price? Like, that's weird. I mean, I get it, like, world needs oil and that creates this vacuum, but isn't there an element where you say, like, national security, the oil is for us first, then everyone else? Why is Strait of Hormuz increasing your prices? I think there's a time where government needs to step in and tell the economists, calm the hell down. This oil is for us first and then everyone else. If you're making oil in excess, how is price going high in your country? Stop exporting so much. Well, there you go. US military latest strike on Iran. Yeah, I've seen this coming. Like, I've said that many times. Like, I don't see this happening. I don't know where this is going to go. Hopefully some deal, but that would require some significant event, I guess. I don't know. Or some persuading thing. I don't know. But yeah, I don't see any deal happening anytime soon. All right, I'll see you next time.